Hey guys, it's wonderful to see you once again. Tuning in for my favorite place here in Santa Monica. I hope you're having a blissful week so far. And today the question is, do you guys often feel discomfortable, anxious, insecure, judged, and somewhat dysfunctional in social gatherings and situations where you're amongst many other people that you don't know, strangers that you want to meet or potentially want to meet, or maybe you're at a dating event or any social gathering where you're by yourself or you don't have a lot of your friends to hang out with and serve you as a crutch. Recently, what happened just this last weekend, I took one of my students out to a nightclub for a singles night out or meetup or whatever you want to call it, an event where people go to potentially meet a date and find a significant other, right? So what was funny for me, because I haven't been to one of these events for a very long time, because I find them quite dysfunctional, to be honest, but I figure I'll take him out so I can show him some things and I can point out to him certain things that probably he never noticed and probably would never notice if there wasn't me or someone who's aware of these facts to point them out, so you can start making sense of all these unusual or unconscious behaviors that people have in those situations, especially when they're highly in a lot of discomfort. So we were hanging out, and the first thing I noticed once we got into the room and start walking around is that the first thing, and this is not the first time, but the first thing that everybody does is to get to the bar and get a drink. Why? Because once they have something to hold on in their head, it's like their little pacifier. So they'll be holding to it, they'll be drinking from it all the time, and so on and so on. It just gives them a little anchor to feel more at ease and comfort, right? It's not so much that once they get a drink or they get a little buzz, they'll be more relaxed or social. They just have something to hold on to that makes them feel more at home or more at ease. It gives them a sense of comfort. Now, the next thing that happens is, especially with men, if you observe men in this type of situation, you would notice that if they don't have something to hold on in their hands, they will either put their hands in both of their pockets, or they'll do something like this, or do it behind themselves. This is, again, to comfort yourself. It's point or part of body language that signifies that this person is trying to create comfort, and most likely he's unaware of it anyways. He's very discomfortable in this situation. And the funny thing is, or the interesting is, that when you at one of these events that are social events for singles to meet each other, there is no hidden agenda. It's very clear from the get-go. Men go there to meet women, and women go there to meet men. So there is no answer or no question that's like still standing unanswered. Like, everybody's there to meet someone, right? And you as a man, if you go to these events or any other social situation, you want to be conscious first of your own self and then the others around you. And the only way to first start being able to be conscious and aware of what's going on with you and then with others is to get out of your head, meaning stop thinking. Because if there was something in your head that you haven't found yet, this little gem or golden nugget of a thought, you would have already found it or thought of it. Best ideas or any golden nuggets and ideas always come in those moments when you're not consciously thinking, when you're just going about your day, doing something or enjoying activity you like. You're being in nature, you're skateboarding, you're bicycling, you're surfing, you're riding your motorcycle, whatever it is, something that revs your heart, right? Those are the moments, or maybe in the shower, early in the morning when you wake up and your mind is clear. That's when those ideas come from. Not when you sit down and you think and think and think. Nothing happens in those moments. If anything, you just create a lot more mental chatter and mental chatter and mental chatter. In those situations, it's about being present. It's about observing others, observing yourself, being conscious and aware. So, moving forward with what I first mentioned. Everybody gets a drink and hold on to it and drink from it like they haven't seen water, or they've been walking through the desert, or they're playing with their straw the whole time, right? All these movements, they are signify nervous energy or discomfort and so on, or wrapping yourself like this, or put your hands in your pockets, or what I've noticed women in particular do in social situations when they're completely discomfortable is they'll have their phones and they'll play with it nonstop. They'll be looking at their phone like it's their life, right? Basically, what I call nowadays the cell phones. Everywhere I go, everyone is constantly on their phone looking at it. It's the pacifier for what babies have, right? But it's a pacifier for grown-ups. Everybody has one. Everybody has one. Most people, if you take away their phone from their hands, they go fucking insane. They'll have a panic attack or something. Most women, I would imagine, they will, right? They just can't be disconnected. And it's not because they really need it. It's just their little crutch to handle their level of social discomfort. So here is what you can do in any situation like this. First and foremost, again, become very aware and conscious of yourself. What are you doing? What kind of a body language do you have? Are you open and welcoming people to come say hi? For example, some women are very open and they're very outgoing in the sense that if they really like you and they see that you're kind of like one of these unsure dudes, they might come and say hi to you, right? But in order for this to happen, you have to have an open language, which means your hands are open. They're pointing outwards, your palms, right? They're not in your pocket. They're not in your back. You're not hugging yourself to create comfort. You just have your palms open, pointing out. Your legs, dude, they're not crossed and whatever. You're not holding on to anything. You're not playing with anything. You're not a little kid. In social situations like this, you're there to meet others. The agenda is very clear. There is no secret agenda. There is nothing to hide. Everybody's there to meet with everybody else, right? So that's the first thing. Just have a very open body language. If you feel discomfortable, which most likely would be the case if you haven't been through this experience over and over and over and over again, because this is how you become comfortable and adapt in situations like this, is by doing it, not by just reading or listening to me. It's about hearing right now, intellectualizing what I just said, and going out into the real world and implementing it and seeing what the results are, or how it affects you and how it affects the people around you. The next thing would be, if you're in a social environment and you want to meet women, do not pile up with all the other dudes and hang out with them. You're there to meet women. Women don't approach men. Men approach women. Unless, like I said, it's in one of these rare cases where you, let's say, a very good-looking guy and you kind of shy, and the girl probably she's not, and she really wants you and she'll come say hi. But if you're a very socially inadept person, you're probably not going to be able to capitalize on this opportunity. So don't, again, create a pack with other dudes. Hang out on yourself. This is what I used to do a long time ago when I was getting very comfortable and experimenting with very discomfortable social situations. I would always go out by my own or on my own, and always purposefully put myself in extremely discomfortable situations that most people would probably have a panic attack in. Because that's the only way you would get socially comfortable, and regardless of circumstances that you're in. Right? You can expect to build muscles if you don't go regularly in the gym or have a good diet. Or if you like playing video games, you can get good at any game if you don't play often at it. Right? You have to practice and you keep on the levels or the amount of weight you need to push or the exercises you need to do, they become harder and harder as you want to grow and become better at what you do. So keep on at it. Keep on at it and start somewhere. You cannot start at the end. Every journey has its first step. So don't feel overwhelmed. Don't procrastinate. Procrastinating. Just take that first step. Put yourself out there in this situation, whatever that might be, and go make a contact with a lady that you like or someone that you like to meet. And just start becoming very conscious about just these things I just mentioned, about how people behave in those environments. Another thing that happened that night, they had icebreaker games, which to me is the dumbest fucking thing. Why would you have an icebreaker game when you're already in an environment with clear agenda? This is a singles network event. Everybody is there to meet someone. There are no unknowns. The only unknown is who is me, who are you? Do we click, do we not? Do we vibe, do we not? Do we want to maybe go get a drink somewhere else or hang out or go on a date or make out right now? Whatever the situation might be, right? So what do? Everyone at this event was holding on to their little piece of paper, a sheet of paper, whatever it was. They were collecting some answers to somebody from each one. And everybody would hold on to it with their pen and walk around and stuff. And next thing you notice is that people are no longer there, or they have no clear intention or idea of what their end goal is, or what's their North Star. Like, what brought them there? What brought them there is to meet someone, not to collect answers, not to play this game, but to meet someone that they actually interested in. So why would you waste your time going around doing something that has nothing to do with what you're trying to do? I mean, it doesn't even make sense now, does it? So don't use crutches. Again, just become very conscious of yourself and aware of how you hold your body, what do you experience. If you feel discomfort, just sit in the discomfort, sit in this feeling. It's just an emotion. The simplest way to process emotions is like to think of it as tasting chocolate. If you never had chocolate in your life, first it's kind of interesting, right? But once you had chocolate, no matter what type of chocolate, brand of chocolate, and so on you try in the future, you know it's chocolate. It might taste a little bit different, but cocoa, chocolate, pretty much tends to to be very consistent in its taste, right? So you know what to expect. So unless you really put the time and effort to sit into an emotion and just let it come through you, this energy to just come through you, you're not going to know what it is and what it's going to do. There's nothing wrong that's going to happen. Yeah, you might feel it for a moment. Sit in it. Who cares? There's no rush. The night is young or the day is young or whatever. If the opportunity is there, we'll be there 5 minutes later. So sit in the feeling. Just let it overcome you. Let the emotion, this energy rise up to its crest, and then it's going to peak and throw off. Just like the waves in the ocean behind me. They peak to a crest and they like little by little die out to a trough. And then they're gone. And once they've had this experience fully this emotion, next time it arises in you, oh, you're like, oh, it's chocolate. I've had chocolate. That's fine. I can have some more today, right? Or whatever it is. Now, next thing to do is to become comfortable whenever you meet people. Doesn't matter if it's woman or a man or so on, to look them in the eyes and become comfortable with holding eye contact with other people. This is how you connect with them initially. Again, body language is extremely important. Body language is like over 80% of actually what is said. Because humans have a built-in intuition and bullshit filters that can, even if they don't know it, it tells them on the inside that if, let's say, you're saying something, but your body language is saying something else, the intuition in the other person, this emotion, something will be triggered in them that would say, oh, there is misalignment. there will be a notification. There will be something like, oh, this guy's bullshitting me, or this woman is whatever, right? People can read this clearly. Even if it's a subconscious thing, they can feel it, they can read it. It's built into the body intelligence. The evolutionary intelligence our bodies have acquired over hundreds of thousands of years. They're on a very instinctive, intuitive level. You don't think about them. You don't process them in your rational mind. They just show up because your subconscious mind can read these subtle little things and give you little indicators. So become comfortable with holding eye contact with everyone you meet. And you don't have to be like a staring contest or like a creepy looking in them like with some weird intent, right? Because your eye contact and your intent carry a distinct message. Meaning if your intent is like, I would love to meet you, who are you? This will come in through your eyes. But if it's like, I don't like you, but I'll pretend that I want to meet you, my eye contact would convey this message as well. And again, the intuition in this person will snap in, will give them a little push. Even though they might not know exactly what it is, they'll feel discomfortable. They'll be like, there's something off with this person, right? So become comfortable looking in people's eyes, because what happened yesterday, there are multiple men there who clearly could not look anyone in the eyes. They'll be walking around the room by themselves like little robots, almost like drones trying to avoid any traffic along the way and any eye contact. I observed them for a moment. It was obvious to me that their main problem was, again, sitting in social pressure, because they were moving around because they cannot sit in one spot and just relax into your body, because they didn't want to feel and experience this emotion of discomfort in the moment. So I definitely encourage you to go out there and try out for yourself all of these little things. And again, in order to overcome the social discomfort and inability to be adept in social situations, you need to create the opportunity where you can sit down, or you can sit into this energy of discomfort, this emotion that rises up in your body, and just let it overcome you for a moment. Trust me, nothing's gonna happen. You just have to man up and fucking do it. And if you're afraid and you cannot find the motivation, procrastination, right? Take the first step tomorrow and do something that makes you uncomfortable. Your life would never get better if you stay in your comfort zone. That's the truth. If anything, you're gonna turn into a blob and live a miserable life. So step up your game, and go do something exciting that makes you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to risk your life. You just have to put yourself in a situation that makes you uncomfortable. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys think that this was a great video, please hit the like button, leave me a comment. If there's a specific content you would like me to create, or a video, you have a question, feel free to leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thrive and strive, my friends.